Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today in this video we'll be clearing about the most common confusion of the contract law, the void contract and voidable contract. Let's discuss what are the major differences between the void contract and voidable contract. First, let's talk about void contract. A void contract is a contract that is not enforceable by law. It is either void from the very beginning, we call this void ab initio, or it becomes void later because it becomes impossible or illegal to perform. Now, for example, a little kid is happily cycling in the park. While cycling, he's dreaming about buying a brand new video game. But there's a problem. He has no money. Suddenly, he sees a gentleman walking nearby. The kid gets a genius idea. What if I sell my bicycle to this man and borrow some money in return? The gentleman agrees. They both sign a paper, a contract. The kid takes the money and rides away with the bicycle. Now, the gentleman cannot go to the court and sue the kid because legally the contract was void from the very beginning. Since the kid is a minor, that's exactly what a void contract means. An agreement which was never legally enforceable in the first place. Now, let's understand voidable contract. This is a contract that is valid and binding, but one party has the option to cancel it because their consent was not free. This usually happens when the contract is made by coercion, undue influence, fraud, or misrepresentation. To explain this, imagine a man who gets kidnapped by a dangerous gang. The gang leader points a gun at him and says, "Sign these papers right now or he will shoot him dead." The papers say that the man's entire mansion will be transferred to the gang leader. Terrified, the man has no choice but to sign the papers. But later, when he is safe, he goes to court and tells the judge what happened. The court cancels the agreement, arrests the gang leader, and returns the mansion to the right owner. This is a classic example of voidable contract. The contract was valid at first, but since it was made under coercion, the man had the right to get it set aside. Now the question is, what are the major conditions that makes a particular contract a void contract? A contract becomes void when it was never valid to begin with. For example, made by a minor or for an illegal purpose. Number two, it was initially valid but later on becomes impossible to perform. For example, due to change in law or destructions of subject matters. Number three, it is against public policy like restraint of marriage or restraints of trade. Let's look at the most important case, Mohori Bibee versus Dharmodas Ghose. In this case, Dharmodas Ghose was a minor who mortgaged his house to get a loan. Later, he refused to repay, claiming he was underage. The court held that since he was a minor, the agreement was void ab initio, meaning void from the very beginning. This case established that any agreement with a minor is automatically void and cannot be enforced. Now, let's discuss the condition for a contract to be voidable. A contract becomes voidable when the consent of one party was not free. It was obtained by coercion, undue influence, fraud, or misrepresentation. Number two, the aggrieved party chooses to cancel the contract. Until the aggrieved party cancels it, the contract remains valid and binding. To know this better, let's discuss the famous case of Chikham Ammiraju versus Chikham Seshamma. In this case, the husband Ammiraju threatened to commit suicide if his wife, that is Seshamma, didn't sign to release deed giving up her property rights. The court held that this threat amounted to coercion under Section 15 of the Contract Act. Since her consent was not free, the contract was voidable at her option. She could choose to cancel it. So this was all about the void and voidable contract. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe.